Hey, I've got a question for you. When was the last time that you and your spouse sat down to have a truly meaningful conversation beyond the surface level stuff? Well, today we are going to talk about 10 questions to reconnect you as a couple. I'm Heather from Love How Deep.
And I'm Brian, and I am really excited about this, but I'm a little scared too because it sounds like we're going to get a little bit deep. We're going to share with you how these couples will be I'm sorry, how these questions will be impactful. But at the same time, I think we're going to get a little vulnerable and probably share some little
Yes.
personal information about it. So why don't we just get started?
Are you putting me in the hot seat?
Yeah, let's put you in the hot seat first. So I'm going to ask you, what is a favorite memory that you cherish of us?
Well, Brian, I have a lot of them. I really do. You know what? I had my response and then I just looked over there at that brick wall that we built and I have changed my mind.
Okay.
That brick wall has so many memories, good and bad, but that is a favorite memory of building that wall together because I felt like through it all, like it was not easy, y'all.
Mhm.
Through it all, like we worked together as a couple, as a team, to put to just to do it, to make it happen. And
Yes.
now we can look at it and it reminds me every day of the work that we put into that and the work
Right.
that went into our marriage during that so that we did not like
Yeah.
kill each other. Yeah. So that was really good. And the reason that that's an important question for you as a couple is because you always want to go back to the good stuff. Like what was good about your relationship? Because when you've gone through the junk, you forget. Don't lie. You know you do. You forget all that good stuff. Why you fell in love. What was a good time? It's just all you can think about is what's in front of you. And it's so
Mm.
bad. But what if you looked backwards just a little bit to say, that was really positive. I loved that. We connected so deeply. What if you recreated that? Oh, that might be another episode.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
But man, that wall.
Ooh,
Anyway, that was a
that
tiring
wall or this
process.
wall?
Right, right. That wall.
That was a very
Uh,
trying process.
Good answer,
No,
Heather. Good answer.
yeah. Yes, for one for
All
me.
right.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Brian, if we could relive one day together, which would it be?
Mm,
I had no idea what he was going to say.
okay. I know.
Was
And
it building the wall? Just kidding.
I will say we've kind of done these off the cuff a little bit unscripted. So we're kind of thinking these things through. And I'm just allowing kind of the first memory that kind of pop into my head. But
Uh-oh.
I guess if I had one day I want to say our wedding, but is that cliched to say? I mean, it
Thank
was just
you.
such an amazing day.
Pick
And
something else.
yeah, right. I'm going to go ahead and go with that. I think the reason that I loved it so much, well, obviously it was because of you, but we just had this like really intimate, we invited 30 people.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I thought was really cool was when you asked everyone in the room, hey, I want you to stand up and talk about your first moments together with the person that you're there
Yes.
with.
How did you meet your
Yeah. How
spouse? I
did you
wanted to
meet your
know.
spouse? And so
Because if
that
you
was
don't know
just,
our story, like, yeah.
yeah.
So everybody has a story. So that was
Yeah.
super fun
It was just a really, I think, intimate,
and very
genuine kind
intimate.
of moment. And that's kind of the way we are, I think, on this podcast. At least I hope that we are, that
Mm-hmm.
we're genuine, that we're real, that we're trying not to put on anything that we're not. And I think
Yes.
that's what
That is
really our wedding was all about. It was just us, and
mm-hmm.
it was just we were being real, and it wasn't about the pomp and the circumstance. So,
Right.
yeah, that's how I'd answer that one.
I
All
like
right.
it.
You ready to be on the hot seat again?
I'm nervous.
All right. What's a dream that you have for our future together? And I'm really excited to hear what this is
Yeah.
because I don't know.
So for those of you who don't know, Love How Deep is a marriage ministry that is a huge dream for us. And it has been for a number of years, past couple of years. And there are so many things that we are doing and working together to create this marriage ministry. We call them the facet of Love How Deep, and we want to see it grow, not to the point of exploding so that we're famous. Like we're not looking for that, like
Oh,
fame and fortune. It's not that, but we want so much. Our passion is just to help other married people. That's why we do this. We take the junk from our past, we learn from it, we move forward, and then we share it with others, pour blessings into other people. That's our goal. That's our purpose and mission for this. Um, and ultimately we want to lead marriage conferences and do things of that nature. So that is a huge dream. Do I know how it's going to get there? No, but we're going to keep plugging away and doing what we're doing and putting it out there and letting God lead us and guide us in this. So, yeah. And
Okay.
I think it's important that you have dreams with your spouse, that you share that with each other. Like, in 1 year, what do we hope for? In 5 years, what are we hoping to accomplish? And it might be something like, okay, within the next year, we need to buy a new car, right? Because these are getting old. We need to make that a goal. It's almost like these dreams are like they align with goal setting. And if you fail to plan, then you have planned to fail.
Yeah.
Wow, I
So,
was messing that up. But
yeah.
that is so true for your marriage as well. You have to make some plans for the future, dream together, openly share with each other what you see, what you want, what are some dreams and visions that you have, pipe dreams, what are they? You know,
Mm,
and I think that just gets you talking even more about like, why is that one of your dreams? How do you see that happening? All that good stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You
Really,
did
really
well
good.
on that one. Uh-oh, I think
Okay.
I'm on the hot seat now.
Okay. All right, Brian, what is something that you wish I knew about you right now?
Okay, so I think what this question is asking is it's asking, what is it about me that maybe you don't know that I would like to share with you or tell you? I will say the longer that you know somebody, this can be a little bit tougher because you feel
Yeah.
like, gosh, haven't we
I
talked
know.
about everything?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a little bit easier when you first meet somebody, but so this is kind of a tough question for me to answer, kind of off the cuff.
Mm.
Um, it could be something like, gosh, I know this one is a really tough one because you know a lot about me. Again, I don't necessarily know that there's anything I've really thought about that you don't know that I want to make sure that you know. Oh, I guess I was thinking about this the other day. Now that I just remember this, we may have talked about this, but I had this one memory of it as a child. So it's really just maybe a memory that I want to share with you. Nothing specifically about me, but
So it
we,
doesn't have to be like some internal struggle that you have,
right.
or you
Yeah.
don't know
Maybe
this
it's
about my personality. You don't know that I
right.
struggle with or want to do. Okay. Give
Right.
me anything.
Just a memory that popped up on me a couple weeks ago, and I wondered if I'd ever shared it with you. So we got a lived in Ohio, really bad snowstorm. I was in elementary school. Decided I wanted to walk to the library, and I don't remember how far the library was. It might have been a couple of miles, and there was a deep amount of snow. And so I went to the library. I think on my own, read some books, whatever. Then decided to walk back. I knew kind of a little bit of a long story, but my mom parked the car at a grocery store and then caught the bus to go downtown. And so her car, where it was parked, was halfway between the library and our house. And it was so cold and I was so miserable that I
Oh,
decided, you know what? I looked at the time and I said, okay, I think my mom is going to be on her way from the bus to get me. So I'm just going to go get in her car. Now, how the car was unlocked, I don't know.
back in the day, things weren't
Right.
locked. Yeah.
So I sat in the car and she was late, like really late. And I was almost
Oh,
frozen in the car. Like I
oh,
was like, we were getting close to frostbite. And she finally showed up and it was kind of like, what are you doing here? And anyway, so I don't know. Have I ever told you
no,
this story?
you poor
Okay. Well,
thing.
there it
She's
is.
a little popsicle.
I know. Right. So anyway, so that's
Oh
just
my
something a little
gosh.
bit about me
You
that
poor
maybe you didn't
thing.
know. So
Yeah.
sorry. I know that was a little bit long.
It's okay. So,
Well,
yeah. So, is there any reason that you want to ask your spouse these questions of,
it's just getting to know
yeah,
each other, I think.
yeah,
Just, it's just the more that you know about each other, the more endearing I think
yeah.
you become to each other. Because you did, as I told you that, you were like, oh,
I
right.
was just envisioning you as a frozen little kid, like
I know I
in the
was.
car,
I was
and I just
frozen.
wanted to warm you up.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Speaking of warming up, you're on the hot seat again.
Okay, it's been hot.
And so, what's a small thing I do that makes you feel loved?
Yeah, this is a big thing that he does every so often. You fill the gas in my car for me.
Oh,
I love that so much. Like, I don't have to do it. And the family joke is that Heather has no idea how to put gas in a car. Funny story. When we bought our new car, like several years ago, I went to go fill it on my way home from work and I couldn't get the little door open. I'm looking for like the little thing you stick your finger in and you pull it open and then there's not one there. It's just flat. And then I go and I look like down by the seat because you know you can pop it open in those older cars. That's not there either. I have no idea. Thankfully, I was only like a quarter of a mile from home. So I just drove home and I was like, babe, I need gas in my car and I have no idea how to do it. So that literally was my moment of didn't know. You just push it and it pops out.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. I have no idea. But no, that makes me feel so loved because you are, in a sense, you're taking care of me. You're making sure that I have gas for the week and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, and yeah, it just that to me is just very, very special. And it identifies just specific things that you can do for each other, or maybe it's words that you might say that your spouse really appreciates.
Mhm.
You have a chance to kind of share that and understand even more about their love language or what you
Yeah.
can do. Because sometimes I might do something that like, I'm like, Brian's gonna know that I love him because I do this, but that's not the way that he feels loved. And so it's just really good to always connect in that way and
Mhm.
understand how
Good
you
one.
feel loved.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. You gonna fill my gas for me today?
Actually, that
It
does need
needs
to
to
get
happen.
done.
Does
Yeah.
need to happen.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. All right. Here we go. So, all right, Brian, back in the hot seat. If you could change one thing about how we communicate, what would it be?
That's a tough one.
That is
I
tough.
I do think you and I communicate really well. Like if
Yes.
I again, not to compare, but I feel like we're pretty good, but we're human, just
Mhm.
like anybody else. Um, you know, is there something this one's a hard one because I don't feel like I feel like you and I have different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to maybe how we communicate. So I can't necessarily give an answer here to say this is something we both need to work on. I mean, I know for me, it's the interrupting. I mean, if I had to say this is what I need to do, I need to be careful with that because I think for you, getting out your point is very important. And when you get interrupted, it's like you get derailed and, you
Mhm.
feel like you're not being listened to, and which is true.
Yeah, it's true
And I
for
know
anyone, I think.
for me, it's like, a lot of times it's not coming across. It's not, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm just excited and I want to ask questions and I want to understand and that kind of thing. Maybe sometimes it's because, maybe I'm irritated and I want to just cut you off, but so I think that's one thing. I guess for you, I don't, I'm sure there's things that maybe would be helpful. But
Mm.
maybe sometimes if I'm saying something, you're this inner critic and you can kind of like vocalize, well, I guess I'm the problem or I'm wrong or,
Yeah,
this is an issue for me. And it's like, no, I'm not trying to communicate that. So
yeah.
maybe for you, maybe reducing the inner critic, but again, I think I need to focus more on myself on this. So yeah. All
Well,
right.
I appreciate
Enough of
that.
that.
Thank you.
All right.
I
Okay. Let's go to you.
okay.
Okay. This is question number 7. What's a way we can make for more time for each other?
So, we started this a number of years ago, and that's just getting up a little bit early each morning so that we can have coffee together. We sit right here and have our coffee before we get ready for the day. And to me, this is just really special. We're still half asleep and sipping our coffee and entertaining and being entertained by our cat. And we can just slowly wake up a little bit and but we're just spending time with each other. And there are a number of things that we do end up discussing, like our day, and we read the Bible together, or there's a lot of other things that we're doing. But to me, it happens because we've purposed in our heart we're going to get up a little early and do that. And that to me is just so, so, so special. And I think it's important for you, our listeners, to find a way to make more time for each other. And like I said, that's like 15 minutes. I mean, sometimes it can go to 30 minutes, which is like, this just a huge like bonus blessing, right? Um, but it's just that little 15 minute of carving out a little bit more time for you and your spouse, I think is amazing. Here's a tip that we learned a long time ago. It's like, all right, when you and your spouse get home from work, you tell the kids, go to your room, hang out, have some just chill time by yourself. We're going upstairs to our room, or maybe we're going to sit here on the couch, whatever. It's called couch time. So let's say you're sitting on the couch and the kids are in their room, not fighting, not doing, they don't need, let them understand that you're not worried about them right now. Your goal and focus is your spouse,
Mm.
your marriage. And that teaches your children that your marriage is more important.
Mhm.
God is number one, marriage is number two, kids are number three. So I think it really helps to teach your children that principle
Yeah.
of making time for each other.
Mhm.
And so if that means, all right, kid, 5 o'clock, everybody's home from work, go to your rooms, 15 minutes. It's all about us.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You ready, Brian? Okay.
Sure.
Here we go.
Fire away.
What's something new that you would like to try together?
That's a good one. And again, this can be a tough one when you've been together for a long time.
Mhm.
So might take some more thought. But I know something you and I have been talking about recently. This seems to be a new thing that's out there now. It's these companies that do stretching. So we're getting a little bit older. I mean, I'm not gonna say how old,
Oh,
but we're getting older. We're noticing the
more than
aches
half
and
a
the pains.
century.
Right. We're noticing the aches and the pains a little
Fun.
bit more. And I actually just tweaked my back a couple of days ago. And so I think I've done a pretty good job of not grimacing during our episodes here recently. But
That's good. That's
but
good.
anyway, I would love to go to one of these stretch I think
Places.
stretch places.
Hmm.
And so and what I think the way they do it is you just go to a professional, each of you kind of separately, and probably talk through what you'd like to have happen, and then they help you
Needs to be
stretch.
stretched.
So that was kind of neat. Something fun
I
to do that's different.
Well, I definitely wanna do it
Yeah.
because, oh, man, like, I would love that probably even more than a massage because
Mhm.
massages hurt me
Yeah.
personally. I mean, we've done them together and they've always been nice,
Yeah.
to do that, but that would be something new. Let's go check this thing out called the stretch place
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
just see how we feel
Yeah.
afterwards and
Right.
process through that. I think that's a good thing. I
Yeah.
like that. All right,
All
we're gonna
right.
get that on the calendar.
Okay.
All that
Let's
place
do
done.
it. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
I love it.
I'm going to get super spiritual with you on this question. And so it's going to be a good one.
Okay.
How do you feel God is working in our marriage right now?
Well, wow, that's a big one. Um, I feel like, as of recent, um, my stomach is talking so loud right now. I don't
Your
know if
stomach trying to
everybody.
communicate spiritually?
Woo, it's time to eat. Okay, I'm sorry. Back on track. Okay. As of recently, you and I individually and have been dealing with some emotional hurts and pain, and God is healing us both. But we're also communicating about how we're feeling about said junk and how we're healing
This is
from it.
something external to our
Hmm.
relationship.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like that's drawing us closer together because as we let God heal us and we have these conversations about it, we continue to talk about how God is healing us. And so I feel like He's in our marriage doing a work on us individually to make us collectively stronger, and I feel like we're constantly seeking out God's direction and wisdom for Love How Deep so that we can reach that goal that's
Mhm.
set that, was another question
Mhm.
that you had asked me about goals for the future and what that looks like. And sometimes we think in our lives, God is leading us this way, but it doesn't go this way. And it's real easy to get frustrated and angry and like potentially even turn your back on God or each other. But really, God is leading us this way. And He's trying to peel away a layer or add in something that we need
Mhm.
to do. Um, and I feel like, yeah, I feel like He's been doing that work in us as we've moved forward in several different areas of our lives. Yeah. And He's teaching us more about trust and more about forgiveness and more about um, branching out in new ways that we didn't think we were going.
That's right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Good answer. All right. All right. We got one more, right?
Yes. All right, Brian, what is one thing that you're grateful for about me today?
Mhm. There's a lot. So probably the one thing that I really do love about you is when there's a problem or an issue and we're struggling with something, you're always wanting to look at the possibilities and the hope for the future. and moving forward and not dwelling. And yeah, that's just what I so appreciate about you. And I
Oh,
am being genuine about that. And in the
I can
moment,
tell. Thank
yeah,
you.
in the moment when I'm wallowing and I'm upset and I want to focus on the problem, I don't like that when you do that. But like if I can kind of get away from that and think about it, it's like, that is one thing that I just do love about you, probably more than just about anything.
Thank you.
Yeah. And not, I'm, it's funny, I'm a counselor, and sometimes I feel like you're more like that than I am, because have this tendency again to just kind of wallow. But anyway, yeah, that's it.
Well,
So,
I want to answer this question too. So, one thing
okay.
that I really love about you today is just that you are a dreamer, like a visionary. And it's so crazy because, like, when I first met you, I never thought of you as a dreamer or a visionary, but you are. And I feel like that's something that God just continues to show me about you. And I'm not as much of that.
Mm,
And so, like, when you have the big umbrella idea, I can come in and, like, check some boxes and
mm,
be the spokes of the umbrella and stuff. Like, I love the way that we do work together, but, like, one of us has to dream, right? And so this whole thing of, like, love how deep and, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Like,
mhm,
you're dreaming of all the things that we can do. And I'm like, slow down.
mm.
I don't know how we're gonna get this done. And like, yeah, but you're a dreamer. And I love that about
Oh,
you. I
well,
think
thank you.
it's incredible,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
I
so
appreciate that.
mhm,
Yep. Thank you so much. And
you're
that's
welcome.
probably a good place to stop, right?
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Well,
I love that these are questions that y'all
yeah.
can ask each other
Yes.
and have these same kinds of in-depth conversations. Maybe not all 10 at once, maybe just a few.
Hmm.
Maybe go for a coffee date and just ask each other, so,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
And we want to create a free resource around
I
this.
am,
Yeah, let's do
yes,
that.
I
So
am, I'm excited to do that.
we're gonna put these 10 questions on a free resource. So
Yeah,
just make sure you go to the show notes, wherever you find this episode, and make sure you pick up that free resource. And then also subscribe to this, wherever you see it, whether it be visually or on audio, wherever you get this, please subscribe. It
yeah,
would really help us out a
yeah,
lot. And then also don't forget, if you've got some hurts that you've been struggling with, we have a forgiveness online course. Make sure you go to lovehowdeep.com/forgiveness. Put in FG19, that's F as in Frank, G as in George, 19 as the promo code when you check out, and you'll get this for $19. It's a great value, and we think it'll be very helpful to you.
mm.
And with that, we will sign off. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.